Olympic Games.
Yes, it is, Tim. And fortunately for the United States team, they have 3 returning gymnasts from that Seoul Olympic team. Most notably, Phoebe Mills, who won a bronze medal on the balance beam at the Olympic Games, and also is the defending American Cup champion. She looks good to defend their title, but she's going to have tough competition from Brandy Johnson and also a couple other hot shots from other countries. She's got her work cut out for her.
Well, Bart Connor, it would appear that this is a rebuilding year for the U.S. men's team.
Well, and many of the guys on the U.S. team are in a reconditioning program. They're working more strength. They're trying to get in better shape and do the bigger tricks to compete with the top programs. They were 11th in Seoul, and that was a very disappointing finish. It'll be interesting to see how guys like Charles Lakes and Patrick Kirksey and Kevin Davis develop over the next few years. But one of the leaders and one of the key figures for the U.S. program is Lance Ringnauld. He's only 18 years old. He's strong, he's quick, he's explosive, and he's not afraid of the big tricks. I think he'll be a key figure for the U.S. program for the next few years.
Ringnauld currently tied for 3rd after 3 rotations, and the new Soviet, Vitaly Marinich, currently in the lead.
And of course, the Soviets were so strong, totally dominating the competition at the Seoul Olympics. Well, this is the next generation of Soviet gymnasts, and you can see they just keep coming with more talent and incredible athletes. Marinich is only 18 years old. He's been in the sport for 12 years, and you can see why he was 2nd in the all-around in the Junior European Championships last year. He has perfect form, great leg extension, excellent technique.
Well, the women have completed 1 rotation. Phoebe Mills is in 1st place. Brandy Johnson tied for 2nd with Stella Ume of Canada. And let's look back at Phoebe's vault, Kathy.
With some really strong vaulters in this field, it was tough to come out on top. But Phoebe did just that with a round-off, full twisting Yurchenko. It was a beautiful vault.
So there are 3 rotations remaining in the women's competition. Next will be the uneven bars. And we're going to see Henrietta Onodi of Hungary. Just 14 years of age. She appeared at the American Cup a year ago and became a very big favorite.
And she's as tiny as she was last year, which really works to her advantage here. She swings so easily. And watch the difficulty in this routine. Free hip circle, full twist over the bar. And now a little hop full twist. It's a nice combination. A Ginger, which could have been higher up above the bar. His release move should be over the bar. And a Jaeger, again, a little bit low. But it's important she's doing 2 big release moves in the same routine. Handstand reverse pirouette. Front giant, very difficult. Right into a back giant with a full twist. And a tuck double flyaway. Excellent routine. Some nice combinations in this routine. Watch this, a front giant, pirouette. Now she does a back giant with a full pirouette over the bar. And right into her dismount.
For Henrietta Onodi, a 9.812 and a total of 19.687. Returning to the men's competition, 3 rotations remain. Next up, the vault. Lance Ringnauld of the United States, the 18-year-old, member of the U.S. Olympic team and certainly one of the great hopes of the future, tied for 3rd.
Lance needs a strong vault here. He was weak in pommel horse earlier. Beautifully done. That was a Kasamatsu in the laid-out position. Good distance. In fact, one of the best ones I've seen Lance perform. Lance had a tendency in the past to be in too close to the horse and a little out of line. He gets tremendous distance here, a good push off the horse, excellent position in the air as always, and just a short hop on the landing. That'll score well.
Lance Ringnauld, and he scores a 9.6 for a total of 38.2. Next up in the women's competition, our leader and defending champion, Phoebe Mills on back in Fairfax, Virginia for the McDonald's American Cup Gymnastics competition. The leader in the women's event after the 1st rotation is Phoebe Mills, and a new look Phoebe Mills, Kathy.
She's grown an inch and gained 5 pounds since the Olympics, so it's an adjustment period for her. It's going to show it'll be on this event. Reverse hex, nice and high over the bar. Now she sets up for another one, catches in mixed grip. She's moving quite well, not quite as quickly as she used to move, but she's really adjusting well. Giant swing with a full pirouette and a tuck double flyaway. Little slow on the rotation, which caused that step on the landing. Pretty solid routine for her.
We'll finish late that period.
Coach Bellicaroli offering his usual encouragement.
Now, this is her second release move. It's a reverse hex. She catches in mixed grip, does a half turn, and drops to the low bar. Now, her extra size has not affected the major elements in her routine. But watch here. After the long hang kip and cast up to a handstand, her legs separate and just a little struggle to get up to the handstand. Nice full pirouette over the bar. Little short on this swing and slow on the rotation, though, for that dismount.
Phoebe Mills' score on the uneven bars, 9.787, a total of 19.712. She had a slender lead over Brandy Johnson after the first rotation, the vault. And Brandy Johnson will be up next on the bars. But first in the men's competition, looking again at Vitaly Marinic.
Typical of the Soviet gymnasts, they find the perfect body style. You notice he's 5'4" and 117 pounds. That's about the average size and weight of a world-class gymnast. Tremendous vault, a handspring front layout with a half. A little short on the landing, but beautiful form in the air. Once again, the Soviets always push the maximum level of difficulty in every event. Notice the technique here. Perfect form on the pre-flight. When his hands hit, legs straight, heels together, just a little short, and barely out of line.
So the barefooted Soviet scores a 9.6 on the vault, a total of 38.7. Brandy Johnson now on the uneven bars. Brandy needs a 9.813 to take the lead. She's back with her coach, Kevin Brown, in Florida, having left him to join Bellicaroli in Houston, but recently returned to Brown.
The Olympics was really a great experience for Brandy. She's been up ever since. Watch that nice high reverse hex way up above the bar. Counter swing, front between the bars. She's so aggressive now. This is one of the areas where she has really improved. Giant swing, full pirouette, a little stutter step up there, and a tuck double flyaway. Yeah. Excellent routine.
Oh, okay.
Now watch this reverse hex. This is what the judges are looking for. Look at the height above the bar. Way up there. Now she does a counter swing and right into a front flip between the bars. And again, nice height. In a short time back, she and her coach, Kevin Brown, have really accomplished a lot.
So Brandy Johnson with a 9.9 on the uneven bars, moving her into the lead. Meanwhile, on the men's side, Makoto Aihara of Japan, currently standing in second place after 3 rotations, ready for the vault.
Aihara is a very explosive tumbler and vaulter. Let's see what he's going to use today for his vault. Nice, laid out Tsukahara with a full with tremendous distance from the horse. Great form, good clean line in the air. You'll notice he does a round off on and then a laid out back flip with a full off. Beautiful form and tremendous distance. Nice landing.
Aihara of Japan, a 9.5.
Which is low, I think, compared to the other scores we've seen.
And so that leaves Vitaly Marinic of the Soviet Union in first place after 4 rotations. Lance Ringdahl of the U.S. tied for second. Kirksey of the U.S. tied for fourth. American Brandy Johnson leads the women's event after 2 rotations. And Phoebe Mills right behind her, followed by Henrietta Onodi of Hungary. For Phoebe Mills, the 88 Olympic bronze medalist on this event, the balance beam.
Which was a tremendous feat. It's difficult enough to make finals, but to win a medal with the Soviets and Romanians and everyone there was great. She's just superb on this event. Always near perfect in execution. Now this is the toughest part of her routine. That handspring is a 2 layout, a little bit off to the side. I have not seen Phoebe miss beam, and I can't tell you when. She's usually so solid here. Notice the close attention to detail, every toe point, hand position. And a gainer layout down to one knee. And a nice original move. As you can see, she's usually so solid on this event. Preparing for the dismount. Round off. Double touch. Perfect landing. She came back. She nailed everything else in the routine. Just that one problem area.
Well, Kathy, what happened here?
Well, she was straight on the first back handspring, but she was a little slow on the rotation in the first somersault. Her chest was too low there and had to work too hard to get into that second somersault. Therefore, she's off to the right. Oh, such a disappointment for her.
So for Phoebe Mills, a 9.387 on the beam.
Yeah, I'll put another grip on. The next one, maybe after that. Okay?
Vitaly Marinic, still the men's leader after 4 rotations. He's up on the parallel bar.
One of the new trends in parallel bars is more and more underbar work, as you notice there. Glide, reverse straddle, peach half to a handstand, and a giant swing. All of those underbar elements, something that the judges are encouraging the gymnasts to do more of. There's a giant to a reverse stutz. Original skill. He just seems to work so effortlessly. Perfect form. He never seems to be anxious. Very smooth rhythm. Oh, and a perfect double back. Nothing to it.
A very stoic presentation on the part of Marinic, but at a very high level of excellence.
And what perfect form on this giant to a reverse stutz. There's the Healy twirl. Every skill is done with good, smooth rhythm. He never rushes. Beautiful lift in the back toss. And he just kicks out of that tuck double back.
Good for a 9.8 for Marinic, and he is still the leader in the men's event. And next up, the women's leader, Brandy Johnson.
Feel your focus. Feel it, okay? Feel that routine. You know how it feels, okay? All right, baby. Show it off. You're great up there.
Earlier, Leslie Visser talked to the coach about Brandy's return to him.
Kevin, you coached Brandy Johnson. She left you to go to Bella Caroli. Now she's back with you. What was it like to lose her, and what's it like to have her back?
Well, obviously, it's great to have Brandy back. She's probably one of the greatest that the United States is ever going to have. She was gone for a very short time. She's been with me for 4 to 5 years, and she was gone for 4 to 5 months. So that kind of tells the story. It was hard for her to go for that short period of time, but it helped her to place the highest of all Americans at the Olympic Games, and she's back with us now. We're training hard, and we're really looking forward to the competition today.
Well, obviously, the duo is working. This is definitely a career on the rise. As I said earlier at the uneven bars, that was one of the areas where she's really improved. This is another one. Nice move, a Diamondov. She's really become more aggressive in competition, which is so crucial to win the big meets. Here's her most difficult pass. 2 back handsprings into a layout step out. Well done. You can see her fight for every single position to not give away a single tenth of a point. She does a punch front here. Beautiful landing. She is just on. The only thing she really needs to work on is sometimes she has a tendency to work with her shoulders up. pull those shoulders down. Everything else is just near perfect. Here's her dismount, round off double back. And a great landing, a beautiful routine for her.
Randy Johnson, what a response from the crowd here at George Mason.
So we're looking at her two back handsprings into a layout step out. Now watch. She almost gives it up and is no way. Locks it in there. This is crucial if you're going to win the big meets and if you're going to compete against the Soviets and Romanians. You cannot...
Sports Sunday. We are live from George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia. The McDonald's American Cup Gymnastics Championships competition is underway. The men are in their 5th rotation on the parallel bars. And you're looking at Patrick Kirksey, the young American, 20 years of age, from Tucker, Georgia. A fairly new name in terms of international competition. Tim Ryan with Kathy Johnson and Bart Connor. And Bart Kirksey currently standing in 4th place, tied in that position, and doing pretty well.
He is doing very well. In fact, this type of pressure at international competition is new to Patrick, but he has handled himself beautifully. He came into this competition in 5th after yesterday's preliminaries, and one of his best performances was right here on the parallel bars where he got a 9.5 yesterday.
Patrick Kirksey, coached by Francis Allen at the University of Nebraska, a well-known college hotbed of men's gymnastics. This is his first appearance here this afternoon on the parallel bars. Favorite event is the pommel horse, and Kirksey in 1987 in the NCAA championships, 4th on the pommel horse. In 1986, he was first in the all-around in the Junior Olympics.
With that undergrip there, he's going to mount with a move called a peach basket around to a straddle cut. Nice opening combination. Swing to handstand. He sets up for some of the big swing elements here. Nice high back toss, a little bit over. He needs to try and top those off into the handstand position. That's a nice move. That's called a Healy twirl, 2 in a row. Very difficult combination. Straddle cut to an L. That's a hold move, and he pressed the handstand. That's also a hold move. The gymnast can hold skills no more than 3 times or they'll get deductions. And a tuck double back, 1 step on the landing.
Patrick Kirksey, a name to keep very much in mind as we head uphill now toward the 92 Olympic Games in Barcelona. Lance Ringnauld made it into this final competition. You'll be seeing him. And he is another of the outstanding young Americans looking ahead to the Olympic year of 1992 now that they are rebuilding from the Seoul Games.
Patrick was 3rd in the all-around in this year's Winter Nationals in Colorado, Colorado Springs. That was the re-ranking of the U.S. team, the first re-ranking since the Seoul Olympics.
He's a very enthusiastic young guy, and talking to him, you know that he very much has 92 in mind. He said that's been his goal since he started in gymnastics, so he's a man to watch. And here is a young lady to watch, Olyesa Dudnik from the Soviet Union. She will be up next on the balance beam, just 14 years of age, making her first appearance in the American Cup, her first trip to the U.S. And Kirksey awaiting his scores, and here they are, 9.550, 9.550 for Patrick Kirksey on the parallel bar. Now, Kathy Johnson, Olyesa Dudnik, yesterday on the balance beam in the qualifying 9.887.
She's right up there in the running, particularly on this event. She probably does one of the hardest routines on balance beam. She mounted with a round-off layout. Now watch this aerial cartwheel, 2 layout step out. Incredible difficulty, and she's only done really 1 pass on the balance beam. Now, there's a requirement on the balance beam. It's called the Gymnastics series, which is a series of dance elements directly connected. Now, watch this move. It's so risky. Round a full twist and dead on the balance beam. I have seen her work out and warm up. I have not seen her miss that trick yet, and that is a trick, as most gymnasts know, is very chancy. You just hope you make it in the meet. Now, another requirement is the mix series. You saw she did the full turn and right into the handstand, combining acrobatic and dance elements. A lot of changes in the judging now. In fact, most of the routines can only come out of a 9-6 unless they meet their bonus value parts, which Alicia more than does. Beautiful dismount coming up. Round effect handspring, triple twist. A little off to the side and a step, but that's only a tenth of a point deduction.
14-year-old Alessa Dudnik, her first important international competition, and she's doing very well indeed in this third rotation in the women's competition.
We're going to take a look at this round-off full twist. It's one of the difficult moves she does. It's directly over the center of the beam. You could not do it more perfectly.
Well, we'll come back with the score for Alessa Dudnik. Right now, we'll take this commercial message. Stay with us. Live from the Patriot Center in George Mason University, Fairfax, Virginia, welcome to CBS Sports Sunday, the McDonald's American Cup competition underway. Let's take a look at the women's standings. They currently are in the third rotation. American Brandy Johnson in first place, just ahead of the young Soviet you just saw, Alessa Dudnik, and followed by the very popular Henrietta Onodi. A 9.862 was the score for Alessa Dudnik. There she is. Her performance on the beam, standing her in second place here at this moment in the women's competition. Now for the men. Vitaly Marinic from the Soviet Union is currently the leader, with Patrick Kirksey of the United States right behind him at this point now. And the men have completed 4 rotations. They're in the 5th. Now, still to come here in this 5th rotation, Makoto Aihara, who's been going very well, a fine-looking young Italian, Yuri Keki, and Lance Ringnauld, the man we mentioned as another prospect for the '92 Olympic Games for the United States. Well, Tim Ryan, Kathy Johnson, and Bart Connor, and thank you for joining us after that exciting basketball game from Syracuse. And we'd like to kind of get your impressions here of the women's competition so far, because Phoebe Mills came in as the defending champion, and who's pushing her but Brandy Johnson?
Right, and after the preliminaries, Phoebe had been in second behind Brandy, and also got off to a good start. She was leading after the first event, was in second place after the second event. Now watch here. Here was her third event, balance beam. She has back handspring, 2 layout step out, and I haven't seen Phoebe do this in so long. She's usually so solid on this event.
This was her bronze medal winning
Exactly.
event at the Olympics. Now, is there some simple reason, or is it just a little miscue?
I think it's complex. Phoebe has been up for a year and a half. She's won almost every competition she's been in, nationally and internationally. Won a bronze medal at the Olympics. She's in an adjustment time. She had to go down and then pick herself back up. She also grew an inch, gained 5 pounds. That's an adjustment as well.
And she also is now looking at her teammate Brandy Johnson as a very primary opponent, both in this competition and over the next few years. Here's Brandy Johnson.
It's an interesting contrast to where these two gymnasts are right now in their career. I think something lit her torch at the Olympic Games, placing as the highest American in the all-around, and she now knows exactly what she wants. This is the most aggressive I have ever seen Brandy compete.
Brandy Johnson currently the leader in the women's competition, and a teammate on the U.S. squad with Phoebe, but has left the coaching of Bella Caroli to go back to Orlando, Florida, and her old coach, Kevin Brown. Well, now let's discuss a little bit about the men's competition, Bart, because I think everybody would agree this is a rebuilding year for the U.S. team.
There's no question that guys like Lance Ringnauld and Patrick Kirksey are the new faces for U.S. gymnastics. Lance is very exciting because he's only 18 years old and he can do all the hard stuff. But speaking of a guy who can do the hard stuff, Marinic from the Soviet Union is hot today.
Well, every year they send over some young, unknown Soviet, both in the men's and the women's. This year it's Vitaly Marinic, and we'll see him here on the parallel bars.
He does everything well. He has good upper bar work, clean line in the handstand, excellent work in the stutz. Look at the back toss, right to the top, and a very clean tuck double back. He kicks out and nails the landing. That's why he's our leader.
Well, they are still in the 5th rotation. The men are on the parallel bars, and here is a red-headed Italian with a Russian first name, Yuri Keki from Italy. And he's been, I think, somewhat of a surprise coming into this rotation, tied for second with Lance Ringnahl of the U.S., just behind the Soviet, Marinic.
He speaks a little English, and I was talking to him just earlier today. Just 10 days ago, he got his foot out of a cast after having some ligament damage, so he is a real surprise to be this far up in the competition.
I couldn't resist asking him about his first name, and he said, yes, it's Russian. My mother just liked the name. And I said, well, was there any connection or relationship? He said, no, but I was born the year of Yuri Gagarin, the Soviet astronaut. Maybe that's why she called me Yuri.
He opened up with a beautiful peach to handspin on the end. Oh, and he has trouble right at the early part of that skill. It looked like he dragged his feet on the ground and lost all of his momentum. There's a giant swing. And another giant swing. You'll be seeing more of these underbar elements because the judges are really encouraging the gymnast to do skills through and from hangs, as he did there in the early part.
So Yuri Keki, a little trouble there on the parallel bars, but he has been impressive to this point. We'll return with more live action from the McDonald's American Cup in a moment. Back live in Fairfax, Virginia, the McDonald's American Cup Gymnastics Championships. Tim Ryan with Kathy Johnson and Bart Connor. And we're awaiting the score from Yuri Keki of Italy on the parallel bars. Next up on the P-bars, as they're known, is the American Lance Ringnahl. And here's a young man who's left the sanctuary of the University of Nebraska gymnastics scene and has gone back to Albuquerque, where he feels club competition will best prepare him for his chance at a 92 Olympics team opportunity. And we had a chance to ask him why he made that decision.
My impression was that if you're ever going to go to the Olympics, you would do it in a collegiate program. You know, you go to the college, you get peaked out there, but I did it at a club, and I didn't want to change that. So I'm staying where it works for me. My gymnastics is going good for me now. There's no need to change it. And as far as this year, I'm taking a year off school, but next year I will attend the University of New Mexico.
Lance Ringnahl, coached by Ed Birch, Bill Foster, and the Gold Cup Gymnastics Club, and he's just about ready to go. And here's the score for Yuri Keki of Italy, a 9.1 on the parallel bars. Disappointing for him. You saw he had some problems right from the outset. So let's take a look at the men's standings at this point. In the fifth rotation, the Soviet, Marinic, is in first place. Patrick Kirksey, surprisingly standing in second place, followed by Teshkov and Li Jing. They are tied for third. And now let's go to the American Lance Ringnahl.
There's no question I think Lance is going to be leading the U.S. team the next few years because he has all... Look at that. Look at the strength on that move. A plunge right to open the routine. He has everything. He has a good style, a clean line. He's very explosive. And he's not afraid of the big tricks, and I think that's one of the reasons why he'll be a strong international contender for the next few years, because in order to win medals on the world level, you have to do the big stuff. As you can see here, back toss, Diamidov. He packs his routines full of exciting elements. Stutz right to the handstand. Another Stutz. And a pike double back.
Appreciative response for Lance Ringnahl, who certainly hit that routine. And Bart Connor, let's take a look at that dismount again.
Well, this certainly is one of the most difficult dismounts being done. It's a pike double backflip. The trick is to keep those legs nice and tight, and landings are difficult, but not for Lance Ringnahl. What a job.
We'll be back with the score for Lance Ringnahl and more from the American Cup in just a moment. We're back at the Patriot Center live on CBS Sports Sunday and preparing for the final rotation here in both the men's and women's competition. Remember, there are 6 apparatus for the men, 4 for the women. And here's how they stand. Currently, it is Vitaly Marinic from the Soviet Union with a narrow lead over Lance Ringnahl of the U.S. in very good position. He moved ahead of his teammate Patrick Kirksey with a 9.8 on the parallel bars. That outstanding clean performance you saw moments ago. So the two Americans are very much in contention here with 1 rotation to go. And here are the women's standings. with Brandy Johnson from Orlando, Florida, leading Olyeta Dudnik and Henrietta O'Doney. Phoebe Mills, the defending champion, hoping she can defend here again at 16. A now maturing young lady, and she spoke with Leslie Visser.
Phoebe Mills was the only American, male or female, to win a medal at the Olympic Games in Seoul, where she captured a bronze on balance beam.
I wasn't really going in there expecting to win a medal, and to come out with not only the best performance on beam in my life, but also to get the medal was a great feeling. It was very exciting.
Round SCB, round AK. Okay.
In trying to close the gap between the Americans and the Eastern Europeans who dominate the sport, Phoebe has continued to train with Bella Caroli. In recent months, she has emerged 1 inch taller, 5 pounds heavier, and a good deal stronger.
She's not anymore the little jumpy, bumpy little girl like people used to see her during the best competitions. She's now upgrading her strength and building up new routines, which right now we are on the process of building brand new routines according to her body size and body shape and style. She's gonna be again very competitive soon on the international scene against the best gymnasts in the world.
If I want to keep on getting better, I just have to worry about my gymnastics and not what may happen to my body, because I won't have any control over it really. So as long as I just keep going to the gym and working hard and have that determination, then it should take me far.
Determination runs in the family, from a sister who won the World Junior Figure Skating Championship to a brother who aspires to be an Olympic speed skater.
She's a really good inspiration for me. I always looked up to her. I still do. And since the Olympics, she's improved because she's grown and she's gotten stronger. And she's really smart, and when I look at her, I see somebody that, you know, is a good role model.
Phoebe, did you hold a speed skating record?
It was an international age group record. I was like a peewee, which is one of the younger age groups.
Oh, well then I was going to ask you, can you beat your brother?
No. I'm not even close. I don't even know if I can skate anymore.
Phoebe Mills from that remarkable Mills family. And you noted earlier, Kathy, the change in this young lady. She's a little bigger, put on a little bit more weight. But, of course, she brings confidence and maturity to her performance.
She is indeed still an excellent role model for all gymnasts. She's technically a very beautiful gymnast. And as she kept emphasizing, she has gotten stronger, so she's able to handle the extra inch and the extra 5 pounds. I think the hardest thing for Phoebe at this point in her career is coming off a year of being up all the time and competing and winning. And right now, she had to allow herself to go down after the Olympics, and she's coming back up with new routines and a new inspiration a little bit later.
An enthusiastic welcome for Phoebe Mills beginning her final rotation floor exercise.
This is a new routine. As she said, she didn't want the cutesy routine anymore. She thought she's more mature. The tumbling is always great. A full twisting double back, tight position. Run a little bit more dynamic music, so that's why the change. There's her requirement for the gym series, 3 leaps in a row. And the middle tumbling run. A pike double back. Excellent landing. This is what's so good about Phoebe. She's such a perfectionist. Toe point is excellent. Every position is exact. Twisting back handspring. Approaching your last tumbling run. And a tuck double back. Very good routine.
That was ugly enough. Oh, good part of this quick.
The usual muttered welcome from her coach, Bella Caroli. Let's go back to that first tumbling pass for
No,
Phoebe.
that was in. That was in. It was on both sides.
Here was really the best tumbling pass of her entire routine. She does is so beautiful. Everything is just in the right position. Perfect form. And a good landing. This is an area in which Phoebe's really going to have to work. She's going to have to upgrade the difficulty in her tumbling passes. In fact, right now, she gets a 1/10 of a point deduction for doing really 2 double backs in the same way. That's her middle tumbling pass. And again, she does a double back. I know Phoebe's got some things in store. She had a rough time at this meet on balance beam, but she's such an excellent gymnast. All she has to do is get back on track, and I know we'll be seeing a lot more from her.
That's her dismount. Finish of her floor exercise. And there's her score. 9.887 for Phoebe Mills. She won the vault here earlier with a 9.925. And she's the defending champion overall. Now to the high bar. And the first man in this final rotation, Vitaly Maranich from the Soviet Union, the current overall leader.
Wait till you see this routine, Tim. He does 2 really outrageous moves that I've never seen performed back-to-back in competition or in the same routine. He's going to do a Gaylord like Mitch Gaylord used to do, a double front over the bar, but this time in straddle position. Here it comes. Made it. Now this next move is outrageous. Reverse X to a front, and he made it. I watched him practice those 2 skills back-to-back in the last couple of days of training, and he missed more than he made, so he's been very inconsistent. But with the lead that he has and completing those 2 skills, I think he's got a lock here.
Vitaly Maranich, who already has locked up the pommel horse and the still rings, has just had an outstanding performance on the high bar.
These 2 moves are just incredible. He does a stem to a handstand, and that straddle position is a stalder. Now he's going to pick up speed, go over the top one more time, and he does a double front in straddle position to a regrasp. One more giant for speed. Here it comes. Double front. He looks for the bar right there, makes it.
Vitaly Maranich, and we'll come back with his score. Right now we return you to Fairfax. We'll be turning to Fairfax after this word from your local station. We are back live in Fairfax, Virginia. Vitaly Maranich, first man on the high bar, his score 9.7. Now currently in the floor exercise in the women's competition, Mari Kosige.
Finishing up her floor exercise, she has done more difficulty in all of her routines than anybody else in the competition. So she's very young. I'm glad we get a chance to see her. She's the top junior gymnast in Japan. She actually does 4 tumbling passes in this routine and ends with a pike full in. That is so difficult to do at the end of your floor exercise.
Mari Kosige, 13 years of age from Tokyo. And she has captured the hearts here of this audience. A very competitive young lady. Next up on the men's final rotation, the horizontal bar, will be her Japanese teammate, Makoto Aihara. And here is a young man who has quite a history in terms of gymnastic competition. His father, Nobuyuki Aihara, won the floor exercise in Rome in the 1960 Olympic Games, and we asked him whether that's put added pressure on his gymnastics career.
I don't feel the pressure from my father's reputation. Rather, he tried to always try to go beyond and to establish himself over that.
Well, there he is, Makoto Aihara, awaiting his final rotation on the horizontal bar. He's the second man in this event. Vitaly Maranich of the Soviet Union turned in a 9.7, and he is the current overall leader. awaiting the scores for Mari Kosuge, the 13-year-old from Japan.
This gymnast is so tiny that all these skills are so easy for her. If she stays this size, she's going to have no problem in 1992.
4 feet 6 and weighs 68 pounds. She's just 13. She's coached by the famous Matsuo Sukuhara. And there's her score, 9.750 on the floor for Mari Kosuge from Japan. And her Japanese teammate on the horizontal or high bar, Makoto Aihara. Bart?
The Japanese have really come back onto the international scene in strong force. They were the bronze medal winners in Seoul after having been shut out from significant medals in international competition for a few years. There's a hop to eagle giant swings. That's a requirement. It's called a cubital grip. The judges are looking for that. One-arm giant swings through to a reverse hex in one arm, right to a ginger. Nice combination. A few too many giants there, back giants and front giants, basically A moves. And a very clean laid-out double, high dismount. He had a good combination early in the exercise, but the rest of the exercise was very basic.
Makoto Aihara finishing his competition, the final event on the high bar.
Here's the one-arm giant swing. He goes over the top of the bar to pick up speed. Now he's going to release, go back over the bar in a move called a reverse hex, or a Tkachev, invented by the Soviet gymnast, Tkachev, and then he goes right to a backflip with a half twist and a regress. That's called a Ginger, invented by the West German gymnast, Eberhard Ginger. Great combination.
20-year-old Makoto Aihara from Gunma, Japan, and awaiting his score. Men's competition. There it is, 9.450 for Aihara of Japan.
His father, by the way, is a gym owner in Gunma, Japan right now, and that was the reason why Makoto got started in the sport in the first place.
And now on the floor exercise, it'll be Brandy Johnson. Brandy needs a 9.262 to take the lead from her teammate Phoebe Mills.
It's been so exciting to watch Brandy here in this competition. She's always been thought of as an excellent vaulter and a great tumbler, but now she's got the consistency and the confidence to go along with it. Just like Phoebe, she has a new floor routine, and it works so well for her. You won't believe her tumbling. Watch the height she gets. Pike full in. She has really turned on since the Olympic Games. Little tumbling run, one of my favorites. 2 whip backs, 2 to a double cut. A little bit short on the landing. Not a major deduction now.
Brandy had a 9.9 in the preliminary on the floor yesterday. That was best of all the gymnasts.
Most remarkable has been her consistency here, particularly her improvement on uneven bars and balance beam. Where she had been weak a little bit before. All she needs is a good landing here. And a double tuck. Perfect landing. She knows she's got it now. Great routine.
All right, baby. All right. Good. Go out there. Okay? Go on out there. Go on out there. Run. Go out there. Come on. Come on.
Her coach, Kevin Brown, sending her out for a little bow here.
It's a new feeling for Brandy. I talked to her coaches before the competition started, and they said ever since December, she's known exactly what she wants to do.
Let's take a look at her first tumbling pass.
the great part is Brandy is even really capable of doing more than the tumbling she's doing here today. Piked, full twisting double back.
She needs a 9.262. Let's go back and take a look at the middle tumbling pass of the program.
This is one of my favorite passes. She has 2 whip backs in a row. Look at the speed generating right into a double tuck. She opened up a little bit too soon, so she landed a little bit short.
And here's the final pass.
I've actually seen her do her routine and end with a full in. I know she was just playing it safe, wanted to end real strong, just like she did here with a nice tuck double back and a good landing.
Well, she topped herself from yesterday's preliminary, 9.91.
You did it, babe. Good job. Way to pull through.
Good job. 9.912, and that moves her ahead of Phoebe Mills, the current leader, and I don't believe she can be caught.
She can't be caught, but there is a close race between second and third.
Now Patrick Kirksey next up in the men's competition on the horizontal bar. Kirksey yesterday a 9.4 in this event.
This is certainly one of his best events. He has a good combination of release elements and a big triple back dismount. Here he goes. Stem, Stalder. Sets up right here for the reverse hex. Changes, tips back up into giant swings, and once again stoops into the inverts. And he had trouble there yesterday. Much cleaner today. Good speed, good clean power. Stalder again. Okay, here, look at the speed getting ready for this triple. There it is.
Patrick Kirksey, probably the least well-known of the U.S. gymnasts who came into this competition. Kevin Davis had to sit it out. He was one of 4 scheduled for the preliminaries, but because of a shoulder injury, had to pull out. And Kirksey doing awfully well here in the finals.
We've seen him do a combination of release elements. Here he just did one, but he did it beautifully. Good form, nice and high, and good reverse rotation back on that Tkachev or reverse hex.
Bart, we joined this competition live in progress. We'll watch the dismount of Kirksey.
This is a great triple back. He lets go exactly at the right time right there. Perfect trajectory off the bar, and he just drops it in. One short step on the landing. Otherwise, he would have nailed that.
Live coverage of this competition. One of the rare times that you see gymnastics covered live on television. And we should point out that from yesterday's preliminary competition, 8 men and 8 women make it to the finals. The U.S., being the host country, can provide 2 into the finals, whereas the other countries can only get 1 of their gymnasts through. And the man who had finished second in the preliminaries yesterday, Alfonso Rodriguez of Spain, had to pull out because of an elbow injury he suffered when he fell off the high bar, and he was replaced by Dimitar Tashkov of Bulgaria in today's final. Still awaiting the score, and we see Ilyasa Dudnik, the young Soviet, next up on floor. And here's the score for Patrick Kirksey, 9.6. For Patrick Kirksey. And the crowd a little disappointed. They thought it should be higher than that. Now, Ilyasa Dudnik, Kathy Johnson, needs a 9.537 to move into second place ahead of Phoebe Mills. Brandy Johnson has locked up the women's championship.
She is very capable of this score.
Yesterday on the floor, a 9.775 for Dudnik.
Pike, full twisting double back. First was a little bit lower than some of the other gymnasts have been. Still no major deduction. I love this music. It's instant recognition. Just from the Soviet Union, it's just got that sound to it.
14 years of age.
Full and a half twist step out through to a double full punch front. It's a tough pass. It's a lot of tumbling to do in one pass.
Soviet music for the young Soviet. She yesterday came into this competition with a sore elbow that she has taped and then collided with the Japanese girl, Mari Kosuge, in a warm-up. Quite a competitor.
And a triple twist. A tiny bit short, but I'm sure she'll get credit for it. The slight deduction there at the end.
Alessia Dudnik, 14 years of age, from Kirovograd in the Ukraine. Her best performance, a second all-around in the 1988 Cup of Friendship, a competition between the socialist countries. We'll be back with her score in just a moment. Alessia Dudnik of the Soviet Union, live in Fairfax, Virginia, awaiting her score. There it is, 9.875, and she has moved into second place, ahead of Phoebe Mills of the United States, but behind the champion here, Brandy Johnson of the U.S. Alessia Dudnik, yet another newcomer from the Soviet Union, his first international competition here in the United States. Watch for her in the next few years ahead. Let's take a look at the men's standings as they look right now, with competition continuing in the final rotation. Vitaly Marinic from the Soviet Union in first place. Patrick Kirksey in second, as Marinic has clinched the title. Makoto Aihara of Japan third, and Lance Ringnahl in fourth place, and he has still to perform on the high bar. Now here are how the women stand. Brandy Johnson is the champion this year in the McDonald's America Cup, and Alessia Dudnik of the Soviet Union finishes second. Phoebe Mills third, with Mari Kosuge of Japan in fourth place. And we'll be back to talk to Brandy Johnson in just a moment. Stay with us on CBS Sports Sunday. Tim Ryan with Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson back at the Patriot Center live on CBS Sports Sunday. A reminder that coming up next on CBS Sports, the Los Angeles Lakers travel to the Summit in Houston to take on the Rockets. Live NBA action at 3:30 Eastern Time. So more basketball ahead after that thriller from Syracuse today. Well, Brandy Johnson has clinched the title here. Let's join her with Leslie Visser.
Thanks, Tim. Brandy, last year you didn't make the finals. This year you have an insurmountable lead. What did you hope to accomplish here?
Just to hit all my routines and just be really confident with them.
Where did you feel like you had it under control here?
I didn't really feel anything until the last event because I wasn't watching the other gymnasts, so I wasn't sure how much ahead or behind I was.
Kevin, a lot of gymnasts seem to tail off a little bit after the Olympics, but Brandy's confidence seems to have improved.
Well, Brandy just came right off the Olympic Games and didn't really need any downtime at all as far as she was concerned. Got right back into the gym, and we've been training hard since December. This was her goal, to win this. We came here. She did it, and I'm very proud of her.
Well, congratulations to you both. Back to you, Tim.
All right, Leslie. You know, Brandy Johnson, when asked her height and weight today, said 4'11.5" and 93.5 pounds to get those halves right. There she is, the champion. We'll be back live in Fairfax, Virginia in a moment. We're back live at the Patriot Center at George Mason University. The American Cup Gymnastics Championships continue. 2 men to go on the horizontal bar. And we see the competition currently in the 6th rotation, with Marinic having clinched, Patrick Kirksey in 2nd place, Andre Hempel of East Germany 3rd, Makoto Aihara in 4th place. They have all completed competition. And up next on the high bar is the Italian, Yuri Kecki, and he'll be followed by Lance Ringnahl of the United States. They can both move up into those standings you just saw, those other gymnasts having completed the entire competition here. 6 apparati for the men and 4 for the women.
I think Yuri has even surprised himself. As I mentioned earlier, he's coming off of a cast he had on his foot just 10 days ago. And I was worried that he'd be able to get through his floor and vault, but he did beautifully there. Let's see how he can handle the high bar routine. One-arm giants, 2 in a row. 2 Gingers, very nicely done. There's the jam to eagles, hop. One-arm giant swing combination with a turn right to a Stalder. Looked like he was going to go for his dismount, and then he decided not to. Cranked 2 more giants, and then finally went for it.
Yuri Kecki from Florence, Italy, 19 years of age, having himself a fine competition. Was in the Olympic Games as a member of the Italian team at Seoul. Go back and look at that first release, Bart.
He goes over the top of the bar, takes one hand off, pulls it right across. The position here is excellent. Really good form, good clean line. Takes that off. It's a back flip with a half turn and a regrasp. Cleanly done. It looked like he was set up to do the dismount just right, and then he stopped right there. He should have gone for it. Then he cranked 2 more giants, and this time he did go for it. A layout double. Look at the good form. Clean line. A small break in form as he went for the landing, but clean in the air otherwise.
Well, there he is. Yuri Kecki was a national champion in Italy this year in the still rings and the vault, and just turned in a fine high bar performance here at the American Cup. .935 for Yuri Kecki. Will not move him up in the men's competition. Nonetheless, a fine meet for Yuri Kecki.
Could you please ask Vitaly that most Americans are not familiar with him? What did he hope to accomplish here?
Большинство американцев не знают тебя, им хочется знать, что ты хотел получить, какую оценку сделать.
Какую оценку? На снарядах, что ли?
Да.
Ну, я, конечно, хотел хорошо выступить на этих соревнованиях. В принципе, я ехал сюда, выиграл.
He came here hoping to do the best as possible, to place as high as possible.
Well, he certainly did that. Congratulations to Vitaly. Back to you, Tim.
I call that a typical Soviet response, wouldn't you, Bart?
Yeah, no question. Although we did get him to say yesterday that his hero was Bilozerchev from the Soviet team.
Now, that's getting a lot out of one of those Soviet gymnasts. That he is the champion here today. Came to do the best he can, but he can't do any better than win it, which he did with Patrick Kirksey of the United States, currently standing in second place with Yuri Kecki of Italy. You just saw him complete his competition. He stands third. Now, remember, Lance Ringnauld is still to come, and he needs a 9.35 to overtake his teammate Kirksey and move into second place behind the champion Soviet. And there is Lance Ringnauld, born in Des Moines, Iowa. He's 18 years of age. You heard him tell us earlier. He's moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico. He will continue in a club program as he aims toward the 92 Olympic Games rather than NCAA competition.
There's no question that high bar is one of his best events. He has a beautiful combination of release elements. Here they go. Here's the one arm. Now watch this coming up right here. Reverse heck with his legs together. Right to a ginger. Perfect. This is the best part about Lance Ringnauld. He's not afraid to cut the big tricks. He's only 18 years old, and he's a very mature competitor at that. Full pirouette out of inverted giant swings. Really, he has everything here. Watch this dismount, a double twisting, double layout.
Lance Ringnauld with our Bart Conner, one of the youngest male U.S. Olympians in gymnastics ever. He was 18 years of age in Seoul, as Bart Conner was in his first Olympic Games. And let's go back into his program, Bart.
This is a really nice combination. He's going to do a reverse hex, as we've seen the other athletes do, but notice his legs are together there. He catches just right, taps through the bottom, and pulls around for a ginger exactly one arm's length away from the bar, right where he needed to be. This is outrageous. He's going to do a double twisting layout, and he cranks 2 twists in the second flip. I don't know how he spots the landing after doing all of those acrobatic skills. He nails it.
Lance Ringnahl has moved into second place. There's his score, 9.800. Lance Ringnahl ahead of Patrick Kirksey into second place behind the Soviet Marinich.
Go, Lee.
Now out on the floor exercise, Kathy Johnson, perhaps the most popular foreign competitor here in the last several years. She was here a year ago at the age of 13. Now 14, Henrietta Onodi from Hungary.
She's definitely one of my favorites, and not just because she's cute as a button. She does very, very difficult skills. And she's actually quite consistent with them. A whip through to a pike full in. That's a big trick for a little girl.
Now she can still catch Phoebe Mills for third place. She needs a 9.675.
And she's very capable of that score. As you can tell, the crowd really loves her here. Watch this tumbling pass. She does this as well as anyone in the world. It's a triple twist with a perfect landing. Absolutely no deductions there whatsoever.
She is a charmer. 4 foot 6 inches, 66 pounds.
Funny, in a competition in her home nation, she was too young to compete. They made an exception, allowed her in, and she won the competition. But she was too young to compete at the Olympic Games. There she just did a double twist in plunge front, which was her third pass. Now here's her fourth pass. A pike double back.
Henrietta Onodi from Hungary. And they love her here.
We're going to take another look at her tumbling. Now keep in mind how tiny she is, and look at the height she gets. Just excellent technique here. Keeps her momentum going. A whip back, lift off the floor. Keeps her form. And that was of all the tumbling passes, she had the most trouble with that landing, and it was hardly a deduction at all. One of my favorite passes right here. A triple twist. Now look, she finishes it in the air and drops out of it. Most people just sneak that twist around. And you can tell here by how strong she is, she's capable of even finishing with more difficult skills. It's a nice high double pike. I think we're going to be seeing more of her later.
I think so. She may have been too young for the last Olympic Games, but she'll be there for the next one, and she has just moved into third place ahead of the defending champion, Phoebe Mills, and she's a happy young lady. 9.825 in the floor exercise for Henrietta Onodi. Well, we'll return with some basketball scores and highlights from Pat O'Brien at our studios in New York, and a look at Lance Ringnahl after this word from your local stations.
Champion Brandy Johnson of the United States, defending champion Phoebe Mills, finished fourth. In the men's competition, it was the Soviet, Vitaly Marinich, the winner, with Lance Ringnahl and Patrick Kirksey of the U.S. finishing second and third. And so our thanks to Kathy Johnson and Bart Connor for their coverage of the McDonald's American Cup, and our salute to the champions.